Welcome to the Liquidity Event, a show about all things personal finance with a laser focus on taxes, financial independence, and equity compensation. Hosted by AJ and Shane of Brooklyn FI, each episode will focus on a personal finance topic, some driven by news headlines and sometimes driven by listener questions. And sometimes you'll just get two money nerds rambling about what they think is interesting. Just a quick note before we get started, this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered tax or investment advice.
Hello, and welcome to the Liquidity Event. We're your hosts, AJ Ayers,
Shane Mason,
and this is episode 137, being recorded on February 25th, airing on Friday, February 28th, the last day of February. No leap year this year, folks. A quick reminder for your listeners, we will answer your questions live on the pod if you leave us a voice message. You can disguise your voice. Use a fake name if you're shy. The link is memo.fm/the liquidity event. How are you doing today, Mr. Shane Mason?
what a flex. Just pronounce that perfectly on the first try.
Pronounced what? Shane Mason?
LiquidityEvent.fm. I can never do that. I suck at it.
You don't suck
great.
at it. You don't suck at it. The intro is hard. Speaking of which, I forgot another part of the intro, which is what we're talking about on the show today. Today we've got how Democrats and demographics shape our friendships. We've got our weekly idiot in charge update. Elon Musk, his department DOGE is claiming it's already saved us $55 billion. In reality, it's a lot less. And we have a new term emerging called the middle class poor. What is this? Why is it happening? And of course, an update on IPO watch. It's not looking as plentiful as originally projected at the top of the year. So I ask once again, how are you doing, Shane Mason?
Unique New York. Unique. I just spilled coffee on my white pants, but besides that, we are rocking and rolling down here in Mexico City today. I got a fresh bouquet behind me for the people that don't watch my ugly face on the podcast. Today you would get a bouquet of tulips, eucalyptus, and lilies.
Beautiful. I don't see any tulips, but sure.
Oh yeah, they're in the other vase, AJ, over there.
Quick pan to the kitchen.
You're talking to a multiple vase guy that is single. Does own a home.
I love that for you, Shane. You buy yourself flowers. There's a Miley Cyrus song about that, by the way. Anyway, so you're buying flowers for yourself?
I actually fuck with that song.
Yeah, it's so good. It's on my workout mix. I was totally doing my what are these called? Push-ups, where you like do the single arm touch across your chest, like push-ups, and then you alternating chest press, whatever. Anyway, those are my favorite kind of push-ups.
I lift weights.
Okay.
And I weigh a lot.
I lift a weight too. It's my body. One big old weight.
Big old sack of meat. Meat sack.
Speaking of meat sacks,
good transition.
We got this guy Brian Johnson back in the freaking news. This is the billionaire who's trying to age backwards, who is hitting some roadblocks. And there was this tweet of him.
Did he die?
No, he's still alive. He said, we don't wish death on him. Maybe we do. I don't know. He tweeted, moved my office to my hyperbaric oxygen chamber. And it's like a photo of him like hooked up to like a Bane mask with like tubes coming out. Actually looks kind of cool. It looks like, what's a Tom Cruise, Top Gun? Looks a little Top Gun. So it's like a little bit cool looking.
I was going to say, it looks like Goku in the recuperation chamber, but I don't know if you'd get that reference. Oh, okay. Cool.
I fuck with that.
I forgot you're half Japanese. Dear listener, if you didn't know this, AJ used to...
No, we're not saying this. Anyway, someone tweeted, this guy will be outlived by Sicilians who consume nothing but olives, Campari, and cigarettes.
It's true.
True. Sicily's a blue zone, right?
Wait, did you hear about the theory on the blue zones, by the way?
No, tell me.
I think they've been debunked because blue zones are all in places where there's like really high pension income available and really low birth certificates are hard to find. So like they're not 100. They just have been claiming they were like 50. Like when they turned 40, they're like, yeah, I'm 60. Yeah. I think that's the vibe. I think it's been totally debunked. But,
shut up, really? It's funny. Before you said that, I thought you were saying that it's been debunked and that the answer was just that they had high income and that they were able to like afford like good food. No, it was literally just they're lying. Okay, cool.
I think a bunch of Sicilians were like, yeah, we're old. old enough to collect a pension. I mean, Southern Italy is the capital of scheming. Yeah,
but they would have that for because then it was the specific religion in Southern California. Anyway, Blue Zone's not a thing.
Seventh-day Adventists. Yeah,
where they were like, we're vegetarians and we love beans or whatever.
I mean,
so.
Wait, the guy won a Nobel Prize for debunking it? Okay, we have to look into this.
Okay, stay tuned for next week on the
pod. Imagine you pronounce something that gets like a fame, like it's got a Netflix show, and then someone wins a Nobel Prize telling you
you're an idiot. Shenanigans.
Like,
that's something that would happen to us.
Right. Yeah, I finally decided to get my PhD because I'm a dickhead, and I would do something like that, and then
it would be me who debunked you. That would be the ultimate.
You get a Nobel Prize. That would be iconic.
On your deathbed.
They would bury us next to each other.
Like Heloise and Abelard in Père Lachaise. Anyway, so this week I have some exciting real professional financial news, not bullshit we talk about on this podcast. I am the second Brooklyn FI leadership team member to get their certified exit planning advisor CEPA designation. I'm on day 2 of 5, which is really exciting. It's going to allow, so Dan, our director of tax, already got this. Go Dan. You're going to do this soon as you stop fucking around, whatever you're doing in Mexico. But basically it's a way for us to advise business owners on a potential exit at some point of their business. And it's not just about like, hey, how do you sell your company? It's more about like, how do you actually look at the value of your company? Always be thinking about the value of your company, not just the profits, not just the revenue, not just how much money you're taking home, but like, hey, is there an exit for me at some point? If I run a graphic design business, like that's great. I'm the principal. I can only work a certain amount of hours. It's just a methodology of really trying to value a company that you have put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into. So, some of it's really interesting, Shane. I'm finding it very helpful as a business owner. Also as a follow-up to our business owner question from 2 weeks ago about being ADHD and just starting businesses over and over again. So looking forward to bringing our CEPA knowledge to the Brooklyn FI client community.
2 things on that. One, the person that we answered their question emailed me directly and thanked you a lot for your comments on that, and says that thanked us a lot and said that you
we already have a tea time book.
Share. So many jokes ready to rock there. The other thing, you sent me a screenshot of some of the work you were doing on. I forgot about that word, eudaimonia. Eudaimonic, as opposed to hedonic pleasure, eudaimonic pleasure.
I just did a Substack note about that, actually.
Oh, yeah? Uh-huh. Oh, you have a Substack?
No, sorry. What's that? I do have a Substack for those who like to subscribe. It's called Money Changes Everything. Thank you for acknowledging it, Shane. Anyways,
I have diligently retweeted or re-LinkedIn posted, or what are we calling it?
I appreciate it.
I've been boosting it on Truth Social nonstop.
Shane, you were talking about eudaimonic versus hedonic. I cannot say those Socratic words. What are the words?
They are Greek, in fact. Yeah. You were the one that eudaimonia.
Hedonic versus eudaimonic happiness. And hedonic happiness we define in this particular slide that I saw in my CEPA education is pursue pleasant experiences and avoid painful ones, aka pleasure seeking. And then eudaimonic happiness is pursue authenticity, meaning, virtue, and growth. So I said I'm a 60-40. I said I'm 60-40 hedonic, 40% eudaimonic. How about you?
50-30-20.
Okay, 20 is sitting in silence by yourself.
Philistinic. Mine is, what are some of the bad guys from the Bible? Babylonian.
Babylonian.
Is Hedon a place?
It's a person, I think.
Hedon?
No. Hedonistic. No, it's a
You're the liberal arts degree. Help me out here. That's what you're here for. Miss Infinite Jest on the shelf behind you. What are we doing here? All right. So
Anyway,
I haven't slept in 4 days.
So this guy, Brian Johnson, I have no patience for this. Like, I want to live forever. Like, this guy's not having a good time. This guy's not enjoying the pleasures of life.
That guy hasn't smoked a cig in at least 4 days or 4 years. Yeah. You and I talk about this a lot because we did like a biohacking. Well, it's just like a big part of financial planning, right? Because like financial planning is about living a long life, living a happy life. You hopefully
well, actually,
70,
financial planning. If you live a shorter life, you need less money. So I would argue that financial planning is actually about cutting your life short and knowing the exact day you die. Hey, maybe that's a new niche for us, Shane.
People that are on death's doorstep?
No. People who know exactly when they want to die and will go to like, hey, I only want to live till 80. So I know we can know exactly how much money you'll need. We can plan for your death, send you to Switzerland and just get it done. Anyway.
I would say.
Should we go into some of the actual articles that we're trying to
I love your idea. I love your ideas. Most of your ideas. That might not be the top of the list.
Not at the top of the list.
But listen, we're brainstorming and we take on, there's no such thing as about it. Before we move on to the articles.
Please tell me.
I got a phone call from someone very important in my life about the podcast and they were very upset and it was my mother. I don't know if I need to listen.
Sherry. I'm sorry, Sherry.
If any of the listeners remember me wantonly forgetting if my mom graduated from high school. Well, she finally listened to the podcast, 140 episodes in.
That was the wrong episode to listen to.
First episode she listened to. So I not only said I'm not sure if she graduated high school. I also like dunked on boomers for a while. So called my mom the other day on a way to the airport, and I got about 25 minutes of constructive feedback from Sherry Mason on the podcast. And she really has a lot to say about the boomer experience. So I think eventually we should have moms on the cast and maybe do an interview style situation great. Because I have given them no platform to clap back.
To respond.
So eventually
we've just been railing on boomers for 136 episodes.
Lord knows I have.
All right, let's get into some articles here. All right,
Smarticles?
First article. Some smarticles? Can we smart this? Can we smart these articles? Speaking of which, how demographics shape our friendships. This was actually a Substack post that I found incredibly interesting on a Substack called Demography Unplugged with Neil Howe. And the gist here is that it used to be that your level of education had really no bearing on how many friends you had. It was pretty similar whether you had just a barely a high school degree, like incorrectly assigned to your mother, who does definitely have a high school degree, fact check there, would have the same number of friends as someone who, let's say, who had advanced degrees. However, it's not the wealth gap, it's the friendship gap is now quite wide between people who do not have advanced degrees and those that do. Here's the stunning statistic that stuck out to me. There's this chart here that says the growing class divide in American friendships. In 1990, those who had a high school degree or less said that they had 3% of Americans, 3% who wait, I'm reading this wrong. Hold on. Back up. Percentage of
oh, no, you're doing math.
I'm doing math here on the podcast. Okay. How many close friends did they have? So in 1990, those who had high school or less actually had no close. Oh my God.
We'll get there. Take three. Take three.
All right, take three. And here we go. Okay, here we go. So in 1990, those who had a high school degree or less, 49% of them said they had at least 6 close friends. And those who had a bachelor's degree or higher said only 45% of them said they had at least 6 close friends. So actually, if you had a high school degree or less, you had more close friends than someone with a higher level of education than you. Now, in 2024, it's flipped. Crazy. Yeah. Now, if you have a bachelor's degree or higher, they're saying only 33. So it's fallen. So it used to be 45%. Now it's 33% of people who have a bachelor's degree or higher say they have at least 6 close friends. And only, here's the shocking part, 17% of folks who have a high school degree or less say they have at least 6 close friends, which makes me very sad. It means there's a lot of lonely people out there and folks who perhaps don't have the ability to get into social or are working so much that they don't have the ability to meet people. Or my recent experience in South Haven, Mississippi, there just aren't places for people to go to interact with other humans other than on the freaking internet.
You see?
I see.
That was a very important trip you took there, AJ.
It was.
You saw the real America from not 30,000 feet as you flew from LA to New York, but on the ground, baby. In the mix.
Yeah.
You were in the O'Charlie's cutting it up with the Trumpers. You were at the
O'Charlie's was closed, but anyway.
That's because they were at home just yelling at Fox News. Yeah, they were just yelling at their TV, just digesting.
This is crazy. I mean, and then I love that there's so much great data in this article. We'll link to it in the show notes because you should look at the charts and not have your host try to explain that to you.
No. I love this. This type of article is perfect because it allows for just hot takes, just like off the rip.
Okay, we can just say whatever we want.
You can say whatever you want. Okay, so if you don't have a bachelor's degree, you don't have friends? Is it because... Is it because you're stupid? No, it's because no, it's just because the class divide, right? Like, or I think where people end up, the polarization of America is obviously not only pushing people ideologically into different spaces, but if you're ideologically far away from somebody, you don't want to live next to that person, right? So we have these urban spaces and then these country spaces or rural spaces outside of these urban environments. And Amazon destroyed a ton of the retail spots where people would run into each other and enjoy local community hangs. And the crazy thing is, like, if you look at these charts, which are amazing, I recommend everyone check it out. Like the places that these people hang out. I mean, people with college degrees hang out way more at all of them publicly, like whether it's a bookstore or the biggest gap is at parks. Nobody is hanging out at a park in rural America. It's like you're just driving past each other, not interacting with each other because you've got 2,000 pounds of steel in between you and your neighbors, right? You live, you don't share walls, you have fences in between you guys. I mean, I think that explains the majority of this. And then the advent of the internet, means that you need to leave the house a lot less often. COVID epidemic means that people are working from home more often.
I mean, COVID, we have to talk about that. I mean, for 2 years, you were disincentivized and in some cases barred from going into public spaces. So 2 years, I don't know, it's been a while since I read Atomic Habits, but I'm pretty sure that's a habit that gets ingrained. Like, hey, I'm not going to go outside now because I wasn't supposed to, so I'm going to stay inside. And that's going to be my reality now. And I used to go to the park and I used to on Monday nights, go to poker night at Joe's house, but now I'm not going to because I got used to my playing video games or posting on Reddit or watching Fox News or watching HBO or whatever you're doing at home. It just became comfortable and it's hard to get back out there.
Yeah, I mean, inertia is a real thing, even socially. There was a Reddit post the other day, speaking of which, where claimed that Gen Z is killing Hooters, AJ, because Gen Z would rather sit at home, smoke their vape, get high, and play video games than go to a Hooters and look at boobs. And
eat delicious chicken fingers.
Oh, yeah, they have food there? There's food at Hooters?
Anyway.
Love it. Anyway, so what are we doing next? Sorry.
Did you have something you wanted to... it's where are people hanging out? And one of the places they listed was bookstores or other commercial space. You had a bookstore update for me.
I want to open a bookstore in Mexico City. Oh. I think it would be cute. I think it would be fun. I could get the hell out of my house. People could come there.
So you need a public space for yourself to make friends.
First of all, I have I have too many fucking friends. I have got a bachelor's degrees in saying yes to whatever people ask me to do. So
you do have a PhD in male friendship, Shane. I would say you really do.
That's very sweet of you to say that.
You are a leader in the male friendship community. You should write a book about male friendship. You really should.
Thank you for saying that.
And you should have an author signing in your new bookstore. But you should hire me to run your bookstore because I actually have experience running bookstores.
There we go. Yes. Well, you worked at bookstores in the past. Can you help me? Like, where do I get the books from?
I don't know about Mexico.
Where do the books come from?
Books come from?
Do I just get them on Amazon?
If I remember, you don't get them on Amazon. So there's, like everything in every industry, there's like 2 or 3 huge like people who have market share. I think one of them is called Ingram, and basically just like you get into their system, you pay them a bunch of money, you have this like back end that keeps all the books in stock. So like if someone in your bookstore buys a copy of Infinite Jest, your point of sale system, your inventory system would automatically order a replacement copy of Infinite Jest from Ingram, I believe is the big distributor. I'm sure I'm getting that wrong now because it's been a minute.
What, AJ? I have to pick, according to ChatGPT, I have to pick a genre of books that I want to sell. So I think it should be
my answer.
Just fantasy? Sci-fi fantasy?
Romantasy, yeah.
Romantasy?
Or sci-fi fantasy.
Bro, I'm gonna hang out in the Romantasy bookstore and just lurk
I have to say,
I don't know about that.
You know that you're stealing my dream because I actually do want to open a bookstore, and you haven't commented about my hat for the past 30 minutes, which makes me upset, but it's fine. For those of you,
this is not the first meeting we've had today with you with that hat on.
For those of you listening and not watching, I'm wearing my Lord of the Rings hat sent to me from a dear friend and client all the way from actual Hobbiton in New Zealand. So thank you, dear friend / client, for this beautiful hat. But the bookstore I want to open
we all know what AJ's doing here. Is she's letting clients know she's accepting gifts.
I'm accepting gifts always. I love presents. No one loves presents more than me. Truly, nobody loves presents more than I do.
Did you guys know that AJ's love language is all 5 of them? So you can't go wrong. Or you can go wrong 4 times. Depends on how she's doing that day.
Anyway, the bookstore I want to open is called Myrtle Earth because I live off Myrtle Avenue. I already have all the domain names and Instagram. God. So
we've covered awesome. One article.
Yeah, today's not going well. Also, my mic has dropped 4 times. It's because I'm wearing stupid iPods and I keep touching them. Or AirPods.
She's got the iPods in today.
Okay, speaking of iPods. DOGE, our wonderful government entity that's not really a department or has no oversight. We've got an article here. DOGE update saved $55 billion. They say they saved $55 billion, but really it seems closer to, 6 or 7? What do you think about this, Mr. Shane? Hello? You still there?
I'm dying.
What happened?
You just froze.
Perfect. Well, I was asking you what you thought about this article about DOGE.
Well, this is going to be a fun one for Teen to chop up. Gotta get this one out the door. The DOGE thing's funny. Actually, it's not funny. It's really fucking sad. I don't know if you saw the news, the article that just dropped today, actually, that 20 of the staffers of DOGE just quit en masse.
Really? No, I did not see that.
Yeah. I just saw it right before the podcast because I like to browse Reddit 40 times a day. That's my structural.
Yeah, you still have at least 50 male friends, so you're okay.
That's true. Well, when you have a college degree, you know how to parse through literature and realize what people come at you with an angle, and you can decide whether or not to agree with something. And you can also decide, you can decide on your media diet, and you can change things. Anyway,
and cleanse. My favorite quote from this article was, Trump has said Musk will police himself if there are conflicts related to the 6 companies he runs. So don't worry. No, he's going to police himself. It's fine. All good. What if we just said what if we as Brooklyn FI just said to the SEC, don't worry about it. We're going to police ourselves. We're going to put our clients in great investments. We are definitely not going to steal anyone's money. We're good. Don't come knocking. Trust us.
Yes. Hi, I'm Shane Madoff. I'm here. And this is my business partner, AJ Ponzi. And we're here. Trust us.
We're here to shake things up.
Yeah.
Trim the fat. Anything else on this? What happened here? They basically they made this big claim. They were bloviating that they saved $55 billion. And then folks looked at the actual contracts and it was actually, this contract was not $8 billion. It was actually $8 million. And this contract never existed and also ended 2 years ago. And you grossly inflated this number and lied to the American public.
I don't know what they're up to, AJ, frankly. I have no idea what they're actually trying to accomplish. I think a lot of this is smoke and mirrors for power grab, or to figure out how that they can leverage this to get Starlink to be more profitable or secure contracts for Tesla, or I don't know. I mean, Trump is obviously a Russian puppet, and I think something's going on with Elon. I mean, without getting too serious about it on the cast, we don't have enough time for this, and other podcasts do this a lot better than we do, but it is truly scary that he's getting access to Social Security.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be able to touch that third rail of Social Security. I mean, we all know that you and I, our generation, I'm gonna dunk on the boomers again. They will not be cutting the Social Security benefits until they're all dead. So
yeah, so we have some time.
I don't know. We'll see. We have a I don't know. There's a lot of crazy. There was a new theory out that they're going to. Did you know about the sovereign wealth fund and the executive? He signed so many executive orders, which apparently are. Yeah. If Biden does it, then it's a power grab, and we have a king for president. But when he does it, it's he's just trying to get shit done or something. But apparently, we have a sovereign wealth fund now, as of executive order, kind of like Norway does, which Norway's is $2 trillion. And there's a theory that they're going to try to sell the parks, and that's why they're firing all the forestry rangers and the public lands. Like Zion National Park might get sold to Chinese billionaires, and we could
visit it for instead of
America's
$7.
best idea.
Yeah.
Wow. The Grand Canyon now is
gotta go now or never.
Privatized. I don't know. That's just a theory. I shouldn't talk about that stuff. What else do we have?
Let's end on a listener or Reddit question. It's fairly simple, but I think a lot of people stress over this. So let's end with some good advice after we've been talking about ourselves for 30 minutes. Would you contribute more to a self-employed 401k or Roth 401k? And someone commented and it's like, well, you do a 457 instead. And this original poster says this. That isn't what I'm asking. He's basically saying, should I contribute an additional $30,000 in my self-employed 401k if I'm already maxing out my 401k at work, if I have the opportunity to?
Oh, is it like, should I've already put 23,000 or whatever.
I've already maxed out my regular 401k through my job. I have a second job as a self-employed owned a business. I have an opportunity to do the employer contribution of almost $30,000 or maybe even more. He said 30. You can put a lot more than that in. Should I do it? And should I do traditional or Roth? What do you think?
You tell me the day you're going to die and I'll tell you how much money you need to, that's
exactly,
the joke,
that's my new
right?
niche.
Like, yeah. Right. Well, yeah, it depends. I mean, what's this person's overall income? These questions on Reddit are always so specific and they lack so much information. If they actually provided all the information that we needed to respond to them, like with a well thought out answer, they would have to be like 10 paragraphs long, right? Like when we build financial plans for our clients, it's like
2
6
meetings
hours
of
video. Yeah. Just before we can make any recommendations. But with that said, I think you should always take advantage of tax advantaged brokerage accounts whenever you can, because you won't always have the opportunity to do that. And I mean, if we do have to raise taxes one day, thanks to Elon for saving $55 billion. If he actually did that. By the way, we have a $36 trillion national debt. So I don't give a damn what you're saving this year. We need to balance the damn budget, right? Like it's not about firing government employees. It's about raising taxes
on billionaires.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sorry, but yes, I think this person should max out 401ks because they might not even have an opportunity in the future because we're going to have to do something to cut these benefits for upper middle class people that have and rich people that have an opportunity to max out these accounts so that we can fund the government. So that's my take on it based on the context of the rest of this episode.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's also this Roth versus traditional conversation. I think it's who cares? Just get the money in. When in doubt, go traditional. Also, if you're making so much money that you can afford to fund a 401k at your job and also at your side hustle, your business that you own, you're probably in a pretty high tax bracket. So let's take the tax deduction in this year when we can see you're in the 35% bracket. Let's take the 35 cents now. I don't know what you're going to be in retirement. Maybe we'll lose out and maybe you'll have a higher tax bracket in retirement, but probably not. If these are your peak earning years. So
yeah,
I say traditional, max that shit out. All right.
Yeah, and get used to living on less dollars now so that you can get on that demonic treadmill. The demonic treadmill.
Hedonic. Hedonic all the way.
Nah.
I'll see you in the 7th circle of hell, listeners. Thanks so much for listening. You can email us your financial problems at liquidityevent@brooklynfi.com. Leave us a voicemail at memo.fm/liquidityevent. We will play it on the air, or you can just comment on Reddit and we'll read it there. And finally, Stans can leave us a review if they want to be weird about it. I've been your host, AJ Ayers. That's been Shane Madoff. We'll see you next week. Sorry, this episode was weird. Bye.
The most unhinged episode we've ever done. I love it. Let's ride. Thanks.